6 truths about being a tech entrepreneur in Pakistan. So about 5 years ago, I started my company called Switch, which is a mobile solutions company. And it was a function of both necessity as well as stubbornness. Necessity because I was having a really difficult time finding work. And I say stubbornness because I was obsessed with this product idea that had already been tried, tested, failed, and shelved. So 4 months and many, many job rejections later, I decided to brave up and work on this idea of mine. Switch was born out of my parents' dining room in the winter of 2012, and we launched our first SMS-based employment portal the summer after. The idea was simple: to not only connect job seekers to employers through SMS using mobile technology, but to also give them enough information so that they could negotiate a fair salary, know what their market worth was, and also to train them for a job interview. The service, little did we expect, became an instant hit. We launched it in partnership with the telecom network, and within the first year, we had over 1 million Pakistanis using and recommending the services to their friends. Thank you. I had gotten a taste of the mobile revolution, and I was hooked. Now when I look back, I think all those hiring managers made the right decision of not hiring me, but for a very wrong reason. I say wrong because they mistook the enthusiasm and, to much extent, courage of a young girl as arrogance and bossiness. And this is something that my headhunter at the time, the gentleman who was helping me look for employment, told me, that Danielle, you come across as too arrogant. They think that you will not make a good team player. And I say they made the right decision because if they had hired me, I would still probably would have been working for them while somebody else was busy working on my dream. So thank you to all those HR managers out there who believed in my stubborn, obstinate ways before I did. This brings me to my first learning navigating the Pakistani tech space, that a lot of us who enter into this space are a function of necessity, and a lot of us who stick around are a function of our dhitai. Who cares if you're Danielle or Danyal? When I was first approached for this talk, and I was brainstorming topics, one theme that kept popping up was my challenges in this industry as a woman, my learnings as a woman in this industry, specifically with regard to sexism and discrimination. Frankly speaking, the feminist in me would have loved to talk about it if only I had much to talk about. Either I've been super lucky or my experience has not been unique in any way, that I haven't really faced instances of outright bigotry from within the industry. Borderline, sure, there have been a few instances, but I feel like a lot of them were rooted in my inexperience. I came into an industry that I knew very little about. I did not have a mentor. I had to hit the ground running. So all my learnings were learnings that I did on ground, and I feel like a lot of the discrimination, if you want to say, was because of my inexperience and anything else. Frankly speaking, I feel like my enunciation into this tech space has not been any different from a Danyal or a Sharaf. In fact, I'll tell you something funny. Even now, like 50% of the times when I'm entering a meeting, people are expecting to see a Danyal. Yeah, but rarely, by the end of it, it really doesn't matter. Sometimes I close a deal, sometimes I don't. But hardly ever do I feel that I'm being discriminated against because of my gender or because of my faith. If you ask me exactly why that is, I would probably not be able to give you a definitive answer. And it's actually baffling that in a country like Pakistan, where patriarchy is etched in stone, you have the IT sector, which is so different. And that is something that single-handedly makes it the best thing about this industry. It's exclusively inclusive. Services to products, the path leads travel, something that is very dear to my heart. Do you know that for the past 5 years, Pakistan has been consecutively ranked as one of the least innovative countries in the world? 113 out of 127 countries this year, according to the Global Innovation Index. Embarrassing, right? You want to know something more disturbing? Guess how much of our GDP do we actually spend on research and development? Take a wild guess.
7%. What?
I wish it were 7%. Things would have been a lot better. We spend less than 0.3% on research and development. So whereas the developed countries serve anywhere between 2 to 4%. So it doesn't come as a surprise to me that Pakistan's IT industry is still predominantly a services industry. We are known for our BPOs, we are known for our call centers, we are known for our cheap development costs, and we are known for our clone startups. And please don't get me wrong here, I'm not saying that being a service industry is necessarily a bad thing. What I'm trying to say here is that if Pakistan wants to make an impact on the global tech space, we have to invest in R&D. We have to come up with our own original products. We have to come up with the next Facebook, or we have to come up with the next Instagram, or if you ask me, we have to come up with the next SpaceX. And some of us are actually working towards it. Like for instance, what Usman is doing is groundbreaking. It's really good. But I feel like we need a lot more Usmans. We need a lot more dreamers, and we need a lot more crazies. The spotlight trap. Some of my friends are not really going to be happy with this one. So I feel like the startup and incubator accelerator culture in this country has given birth to something very interesting. A breed of entrepreneurs who thrive in the spotlight. But unfortunately, that's the only place they thrive in. Getting a startup to succeed is an extremely difficult task. But if you're constantly being thrown in the limelight for your idea, it becomes impossibly so. And what's worse is that most of us don't realize how big of a double-edged sword this is till the time it's too late. That spotlight is there because of your business, because of its longevity, because of its success. And it's not going to succeed if you are hopping from one conference to another, or networking from one dinner to another, to another, to another. Aid money can be the death of you. Again, I feel like I'm stepping on a lot of toes here with this one. So Pakistan is the biggest recipient of UK aid and the third largest recipient of US aid in the world. Roughly in 2015, we got about $1 to $1.2 billion coming into the country. Both these aid programs have multiple grant and partnership opportunities for innovative solutions that fit their goals. And that is precisely where the problem lies. Their goals, not necessarily yours. So until you are a company whose entire business model revolves around the aid industry, it makes sense. Otherwise, I would say it's a double-edged sword, again, if you start chasing aid money. Because unlike an investor who has a direct stake in the longevity and scalability of your business, the most aid programs work on very strict KPIs for a limited period of time. And after that time is over, their commitment to your business might be minimal. You are uniquely placed to drive a counter-narrative. So I was recently selected to represent Pakistan in the Fortune 500 Most Powerful Women program. And while I was there, interacting with all these powerful women from all over the world, I realized that I wasn't there because I had done something uniquely different or something that was mind-blowing. I was there because I was an oddity from Pakistan. There I was, a woman talking about startups and technology, and not so much about child marriages and honor killings. It challenged many preconceived notions. Some were willing to shed them, while others were resistant. But all were interested in my story, and the story of many others like me, who are not building bombs, or who are not killing in the name of honor, but are working on cryptocurrency, or are leveraging technology to connect doctors to patients. I think it's high time we start changing the global narrative about Pakistan. And I strongly feel that the tech industry can play a pivotal role. I do what I do because I am in this country. I'm not sure my story would have been the same anywhere else. So, next time, if you're having a moment of self-doubt, or somebody says that you're too stubborn or too obstinate to make it, remember this. The nitrogen in your DNA, the calcium in your teeth, the iron in your blood, the carbon in your apple pies were all made in the interiors of collapsing stars. You are made of star stuff. Thank you very much.